We received this morning a brand new air quality report, which clearly we have not been able to decipher. And I know at the last meeting we had, there was request made to get the information on air quality reports that have happened and other items with this building. There have been concerns raised regarding the safety of the building and for the employees and so on. So the committee last week did decide to postpone, get the information, the data, to review, to see exactly what was in those reports. In addition to those reports, a new report came out this morning, which again, we'll just put on our desk here, which we have not had time to review and go through. So that's one issue that we need to kind of deal with. The other issue is, as you can see, there's quite a bit of public interest in this from agency membership, and even though this committee does not have a public presentation to it, occasionally when a very major issue comes up or there's been a lot of public interest, I have opened it up to public comments. So at this point here, discussions and seeing the amount of members here that want to speak. In addition, collective bargaining unit dropped off some more documents for us to review, which again, we have not had a chance to review because it just came in this morning. So ideally, we would like to have this as a public hearing, to get public comment on this made. That has to get reposted. This meeting was not posted as a public hearing meeting. So we do have to do a repost. We also need time to evaluate the documents that just came in, the report that just came in. So I'm going to make a recommendation that we postpone this hearing and have it in a forum where it is public comment, and give the committee a chance to review all the latest documents that have come in. In addition, we have received comments in the documents in the past week that have been reviewed, and some members, I know the AG's office does need some items clarified or looking for more info. I don't think the intent is right now to get that response now, but at least put it on the record of what additional information or what questions they do have. Likewise with any other member that's reviewed any of the documents we've had in the past week. If there are things you need more info on, at least put it on the table so that it can get responded to. We do not have a date to reschedule this. I understand that this lease, per its current negotiation, needs to be signed by the end of this month. That will not happen with us rescheduling a meeting and having these documents to review, so that will have to be renegotiated with the landlord. At this point, if the AG, I said, has some concerns, if we want to put some of those issues on the table as to answers they would like to see.
Thank you. If I could just quickly, I appreciate the chair's concerns. We have the same concerns, and we believe it's appropriate to particularly allow for public comment in this matter. I think it's readily apparent in this room that a lot of people are very concerned about this building. There are pictures all around us. There have been reach outs from people who work in the building. And ultimately, the health and safety of our state's public workforce is crucial. It's not something to be taken lightly. Critical work takes place at DCYF every single day. The workers at DCYF are true public servants, working long hours in one of the most stressful jobs that our state has, and working with our most vulnerable populations in many instances, particularly children. As you know, at the last meeting, our office did ask for additional air quality reports. The most recent air quality report at that time had been done in 2023, which was about 2 years ago. There was nothing indicating what the air quality was in the building or outlining plans for next steps to address any issues. And I do understand that documents were given to us this morning, but we haven't had a chance to go through those and see how any issues might be addressed. This is a long lease. It's 10 years in a building. And we need to be sure that we're taking over a building that's safe and going to keep our workers and the public safe. we think it's important that we notice a public, comment period. We would suggest that the public comment take place outside of business hours, to allow for, employees and other members of the public to attend outside of their work hours if they are not required to take time off work to be heard. I think that's all I have to say right now. But, thank you.
Are there any other members who, from the information they've reviewed in the past week, have other items of concerns or clarifications that they'll be seeking to get on this topic?
I did have the opportunity to look at some of the information that was provided. The air quality reports that were sent with the package, were they all conducted by Vegan Air? I'm just trying to.
That is our HVAC, so they wasn't.
So those earlier reports, were all done by that company?
Yes.
I was just curious, cause it didn't seem as detailed as this most recent report in terms of, you know, it just gave one figure in terms of particulates or chemicals or CO2, that it was below a certain level. There seemed to be more details, and I was just wondering which one's gonna be the standard to, evaluate. There wasn't a lot of depth to, and it seemed to, those forms that was provided to the board seemed to be pretty pro forma in terms of, their recommendations and such. So I was just wondering if they had more detailed information.
May I ask a clarifying question? The detail that you're looking for, you're suggesting it wasn't in the first report from 2023 or this most recent report?
There were two separate reports sent out by, that I don't have a copy of with me. But I can certainly get back to you.
If I may, I don't know, the difference in the methodology or the, technology that Reagan has used, if there's been a change, but we can definitely reach out to them and ask them, what the standard will be moving forward, and request.
It may not have been a change in their methodology, it may have just been, how they presented it in those particular forms, because it was just the one line, that it was below a certain level, and then it gave some boilerplate recommendation, like, make sure the vent hoods are big enough when you're cooking, things like that. So, I mean, it seems a little more pro forma than this recent report here that actually gave timelines for the levels. So I was just curious if it was the same company, was really what my question was, that was doing the evaluation.
If I may, one more time, I think that part of the questions that we have are, you know, if this lease was entered into, what are the assurances that the building's going to be brought up to snuff, that the work's going to be done if it needs to be done? And what is that work, and what are the assurances? This is a long time to be in that building. And I think that we would need to know that. I understand that there's some maintenance issues that are more regular that have been laid out, but I think we need to know more what's going to bring the building up to snuff.
So if I can just, the building, for lack, using your terminology, the building is up to snuff. And that was stated at the last hearing. The building is healthy, the building is safe. We understand that there are certain circumstances, that have arisen that we have addressed. So essentially what is being asked of us today is for us to, prove a negative.
Chad, do we gotta have a hearing or you gonna postpone it?
And we're being asked for extra information to prove something that's not there. For instance, you mentioned that bringing the building up to stuff. What exactly do you mean by that?
Something that's not what's up here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
we have done the work, but we're prepared, to go. This is unfortunate for our workforce. This, is unfortunate for the department that we will not be able to execute this by the 31st. We appreciate BPM's work with that. They have worked diligently with, the department, with the landlords, with our vendors, and we stand on our position that this is the best, location and building for our workforce, and neither of us would make a decision to put our workforce in an unhealthy or unsafe building. As stated at previous hearings, we both work in that building. And what I've done this morning, just for your record, is I've taken pictures of everything here, and we'll look into it and see if it's valid. We do have some comments on that, and we ask that you all allow us to see what has been presented and allow us to provide explanations, because the reality is that a lot of this is theatrics.
So I don't wanna get into a back and forth with you, but I don't wanna get into a back and forth with you, and I appreciate your position.
That's
but
why
I
we're
will
here, it's
say-
about theatrics.
I will say
People
that-
coming to.
Hold on,
the
sir,
podium.
sir.
No,
We can't
no.
It's not open for open public comment.
I will say that we need to be sure that this building is and will remain safe in the future. And I am aware of an open grievance that is yet to be addressed, and we would also have questions about that process.
So that's another item that you would like to address.
Yes.
If there are no other comments from the committee, so you want to put the motion?
I would move to continue this meeting, and the consideration of this matter. I would additionally move that we notice a open public meeting that will allow for public comment to address this issue. And at this time, that's the only motion that I would make.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Vote on the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion's approved. No, we're gonna do the next one, because this is the numbers here. We're not gonna do those numbers first.
So the minutes from the previous meeting.
We don't have them from the previous meeting here. Rachel said.
No, I'm talking about the one
Okay.
from the
Oh, from
July, the one
the
we.
July one?
Yeah. The
Okay.
DOT.
Do you know the date of the July meeting? Actually, yeah, just a housekeeping issue, approval of the minutes from the July 8th meeting, because the members at our last meeting were not the same members that were there, so the July 8th meeting minutes, any comments or edits that need to be made before accepting them?
I have no comment.